The real reason anxiety is skyrocketing. Anxiety, once understood primarily as a clinical disorder affecting a subset of the population, seems to have become an almost ubiquitous feature of modern life. Anecdotal evidence abounds, supported by increasing diagnostic rates and a growing cultural conversation around mental health struggles. While pinpointing a single real reason for this apparent surge is complex and likely impossible, a confluence of interconnected factors within contemporary society appears to be creating an environment ripe for heightened anxiety. This essay will explore several key drivers, including the pervasive influence of technology and social media, the relentless pace of change and uncertainty, economic pressures, the erosion of traditional community structures, and shifts in lifestyle and expectations, arguing that it is the synergistic effect of these elements that truly explains the skyrocketing rates of anxiety. Perhaps the most frequently cited culprit in the modern anxiety epidemic is the rise of digital technology, particularly social media. While offering unprecedented connectivity, these platforms also expose individuals to constant social comparison. Feeds curated to showcase idealized versions of others' lives can foster feelings of inadequacy, envy, and the fear of missing out, FOMO. The performative nature of online identity encourages a relentless pursuit of validation through likes, shares, and comments, tying self-worth to external metrics and creating a fragile sense of self. Furthermore, the addictive design of many apps, employing variable rewards and constant notifications, can hijack attention spans and contribute to a state of perpetual distraction and hyperarousal, making it difficult to switch off and find moments of calm. The blurring lines between work and personal life, facilitated by always-on connectivity, also adds to the pressure, making it harder to disconnect and recharge. The sheer volume of information and stimuli encountered daily through digital channels can overwhelm the brain, leading to cognitive overload and a heightened state of alert, a physiological precursor to anxiety. Beyond the digital realm, the accelerating pace of change and the pervasive sense of uncertainty in the world contribute significantly to anxiety. We live in an era characterized by rapid technological advancements, shifting political landscapes, and evolving social norms. Global events from climate change and pandemics to economic downturns and geopolitical conflicts are instantly broadcast and amplified through the 24/7 news cycle. This constant exposure to potential threats and crises, often presented without sufficient context or solutions, can cultivate a chronic sense of unease and powerlessness. The future feels less predictable, and the traditional markers of stability, like lifelong careers, stable housing, and predictable social structures, seem increasingly fragile. This lack of perceived control over one's environment and future is a fundamental trigger for anxiety. The pressure to constantly adapt, reskill, and remain competitive in a rapidly changing job market adds another layer of stress, particularly for younger generations entering a precarious economic landscape. Economic pressures are undeniably a major contributor to anxiety. Rising costs of living, stagnant wages for many, increasing student loan debt, and the difficulty of achieving traditional markers of financial security like homeownership create significant stress. The gig economy, while offering flexibility, often lacks the stability and benefits of traditional employment, leading to income insecurity. The pressure to maintain a certain standard of living, often influenced by the curated lifestyles seen on social media, can lead to overspending and debt, further fueling anxiety about the future. The fear of job loss, the struggle to save for retirement, and the worry about being able to afford health care or unexpected expenses are tangible and constant sources of stress for millions. This economic anxiety is not merely a personal failing, but a systemic issue reflecting broader economic trends and inequalities. The erosion of traditional community structures also plays a role in the rise of anxiety. In previous generations, strong local communities, extended family networks, and participation in religious or civic organizations provided a sense of belonging, social support, and shared purpose. Modern life, with its increased mobility, urbanization, and focus on individual achievement, has often weakened these bonds. While digital connections exist, They often lack the depth and face-to-face interaction that are crucial for genuine social support and buffering against stress. Loneliness and social isolation are increasingly recognized as significant public health issues, and they are closely linked to anxiety and depression. Without strong social safety nets and a sense of belonging, individuals are more vulnerable to feeling overwhelmed and anxious when faced with challenges. The pressure to navigate life's difficulties alone, without the readily available support of a close-knit community, can be immense. Furthermore, shifts in lifestyle and expectations contribute to the problem. Modern life often involves less physical activity, poorer sleep hygiene due to screen time and irregular schedules, and diets high in processed foods, all of which can negatively impact mental health. There is also an increased societal emphasis on achievement, productivity, and constant self-improvement. The pressure to be constantly on to pursue multiple goals simultaneously and to present a perfect image to the world creates a relentless internal drive that can easily tip into anxiety. The normalization of business as a status symbol means that many feel guilty taking time to rest or engage in activities purely for pleasure, further exacerbating stress levels. The expectation of instant gratification, fostered by on-demand services and rapid digital interactions, can also make it harder to tolerate discomfort or uncertainty, leading to increased anxiety when things don't happen immediately or according to plan. It is crucial to understand that these factors do not operate in isolation. They interact and amplify each other, creating a complex web of influences that contribute to the current anxiety landscape. For example, economic insecurity can drive individuals to work longer hours, reducing time for social connection and physical activity, while simultaneously increasing reliance on quick, often unhealthy, food options. The pressure to maintain a perfect online persona can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy fueled by economic struggles. The constant influx of negative news about global issues can feel particularly overwhelming when individuals lack strong community support to process and discuss these concerns. In conclusion, the skyrocketing rate of anxiety in modern society is not attributable to a single, simple cause, but rather to the intricate and synergistic interplay of multiple profound societal shifts. The pervasive and often demanding influence of technology and social media fosters constant comparison, addiction, and a fragile sense of self-worth. The relentless acceleration of change and pervasive global uncertainty cultivate a chronic sense of unease and powerlessness. Escalating economic pressures and inequalities create tangible and constant worries about financial security and the future. The significant erosion of traditional community structures leaves individuals feeling isolated and lacking crucial social support, and modern lifestyles, coupled with unrealistic expectations and cultural values emphasizing constant achievement and perfection, contribute to chronic stress and a lack of resilience. Addressing this complex issue requires a multifaceted approach that goes far behind individual coping strategies and therapeutic interventions. Although these are undoubtedly important, it necessitates a critical examination of our collective relationship with technology, deliberate efforts to build and strengthen genuine communities both online and offline, systemic policies that address economic inequality and provide greater financial security, and a fundamental cultural shift towards prioritizing well-being, mental health, and human connection over relentless productivity, idealized perfection, and material accumulation. Only by understanding and actively addressing these interconnected root causes can we hope to navigate the increasingly anxious landscape of the 21st century and foster a society that truly supports the mental well-being of its members. Only by understanding and addressing these interconnected root causes can we hope to navigate the anxious landscape of the 21st century and foster a society that supports mental well-being. If you found this video insightful, please consider liking and subscribing for more content like this. What do you believe is the single biggest factor contributing to rising anxiety today? Or do you think it's a combination of many? Share your thoughts in the comments below.